I am representing New Jersey Divisional for Vocational Rehabilitation Services, or DVRS. We are, just give you a brief overview about the program. We are under Department of Labor, and under Department of Labor, we are the one in charge for people that has a disability to determine whether they're ready to go to work. We don't work with just adult, we specialize as well with students that has IEP. Okay?
그 마르셀로나 디노서 소개드립니다. 뉴저지의 그 직업 재활 프로그램에 있는 디비전에서 일하고 계시고요. 주로 애들라센트 청소년들을 대상으로 일하고 계십니다. 성인들 대상은 하는 건 아닙니다.
Okay, so let's start with the process, how everybody come into the program. As you can see behind me is the slideshow. It's a lot of things going on, but we're going to simplify the process. But an overview, it's about 5 steps. So first you need to be referred, and then after that we have to do the application, determine your eligibility if you're qualified for the services, provide the services that you need, whatever it is, in order to become successfully employed, and rehabilitation closure, meaning you graduate from the program.
이 프로세스는 5단계로 이루어지는데요. 첫 단계에서는 리퍼를 해야 되고요. 그 다음에 그거를 애플리케이션하고, 그 다음에 이게 정말 과연 적격한지를 심사한 다음에 서비스를 받게 되고, 결국에는 그것이 끝나게 되는 것입니다.
How to get started. So for this conference, we are going to focus on students, because I know that we have a lot of students, and this is the main goal, to provide assistance with students that are diagnosed with autism. So based on the slideshow, you can see the referral process. First student, we want your student or your child to be referred to us 2 years prior to graduation. The reason behind that, we don't want the child to fall between the crack, and also when you decided you want to refer your son or daughter to us after they graduated high school, keep in mind graduation is June, school is closed, you come to us in August or September, and we don't have proper documentations like IEP, which is very imperative, then we are going to look for records, and we're just going to be like, oh my God, what are we going to do next? So it's very, very important to refer them to us 2 years before graduation, okay?
학교 졸업하기 전에 반드시 2년 전에 리퍼를 먼저 해야 되는데, 이건 학교 당국에서 이루어지기 때문에 만약에 학교를 떠나고 나서 이 리퍼가 이루어지면은 굉장히 필요한 서류가 미비가 되기 때문에 더 이상은 진행을 할 수가 없습니다. 그래서 반드시 학교 졸업 2년 전에 반드시 리퍼를 시작할 수 있도록 해야 합니다.
As far as who can refer your child to us, you as a parent can advocate and send a referral to us. Also, when you attend the IEP, you can ask your transition coordinator to refer your child to us. So if you don't have any child, but you know someone, you yourself can make a referral to us if you feel and think that they do going to benefit from our program. You can send the referral.
그래서 문제가 있을 때는 혹시 이런 그 서비스를 받고 싶을 때는 리퍼럴을 하는데요. 그게 예를 들어서 학교와 그리고 이 그 뉴저지 디비전과 연결했을 때 굉장히 많은 것이 필요한데, 특히 IEP, 그 인디비주얼라이든 개개인의 그 에듀케이션 프로파일이 필요하고, 그다음에 eVals, evaluation, 그리고 transition documentation, 이런 것 여러 가지들이 필요하기 때문에 혹시 본인의 자녀분들이나 혹은 이거를 레커멘데이션 하고 싶은 다른 분들에게 이거를 리퍼하시면 됩니다. 리퍼는 애플리케이션하고는 다른 단계입니다.
What do we need in the referral packet? It's very important, like I said earlier, to get the IEP. It's a documentation stating that your child has special needs, special accommodations, and requires some resources as well. So we need the very most important thing. Every counselor is different, but for me, I prefer to get the psychological, psychosocial, educational evaluation. That's very important.
그래서 리퍼하려고 할 때는 물론 그 각각 그 카운슬러에 따라서 다르긴 하지만 인디비주얼하게 된 이 사람의 특징적인 에듀케이션 프로파일, 그리고 특히 본인의 경우에는 psychological, social and learning assessment가 있을 때 그런 자료가 필요하다고 합니다.
In addition to that, I know some students, and it depending on the school district, they do go to the work readiness, work ready program, and some of them are interning to work either at the CVS, Marriott Hotel, TJ Maxx, Target, and once they do have job sample experience, I also request for the job coaching at the school system to create a resume for us, because that's very imperative that the student has a work experience and we value those work experience that they have. So I tell them, create a resume and ask if they can save it on a flash drive and they can email it to us. The reason behind it is once they are in our system and we're helping them get a job, it's a lot easier to tweak, modify the resume instead of starting all over from scratch.
그 이력서, 소위 말하는 레주메이를 작성하게 되는데 특히 만약에 고등학교 때 이미 잡을 갖고 있는 경우, CVS나 다른 것을 하고 있는 경우에는 학교에서 연관된 잡 코칭하는 선생님들의 어떤 그 자료가 굉장히 중요하다고 합니다. 그래서 나중에 잡을 구할 때 그런 자료가 굉장히 중요하다고 하니까 꼭 지참하시기 바랍니다.
If your son or daughter has a diagnosis of other health impaired and your son or daughter see a private psychiatrist, it's very important for us to have that evaluation to be submitted to the office. So therefore, we will know what are the restrictions, what are the limitations. We don't want to find him or her a job that is going to exacerbate the current situation or condition. So we all need to work hand in hand here to make sure that your child is getting the best services that he or she needs.
특히 개별적으로 정신과 치료를 받고 계신 경우 혹은 정신과에서 그 컨설테이션을 받고 계시는 경우에는 반드시 그분의 그 자료가 도움이 된다고 합니다. 특히 예를 들어서 잡을 드리는 데 있어서 환자의 증상을 더 악화시키거나 혹은 나쁘게 만드는 것을 미리 방지하기 위해서 그런 정보가 굉장히 필요하다고 합니다.
So what is the application process? It's like I said on the second slide, the whole graphic thing. So I'm going to go through it step by step. So the application process, once your school referred your child to us, we're going to put it in the system and we're going to generate special information so everybody's in our roster. You are going to receive a letter from us indicating that your referral has been received and please contact your counselor. At our office, each counselors are assigned to different schools. So your counselor will work with you based on school assignment. But sometimes if one counselor has a lot of referrals, so we are going to help each other and work with other schools. So once we receive your referral, the letter will come out, and then it's your diligent duty to give us a call that you did receive the letter.
그래서 일단은 뭐 본인을 통해서건 혹은 가디언을 통해서건 학교를 통해서 리퍼가 되면은 일단은 메일을 부모에게 보내지게 됩니다. 일단은 그런 리퍼럴이 받아졌다라고 하게 되고 그 다음에 이제 애플리케이션 프로세스로 넘어가는데 경우에 따라서는 카운슬러가 굉장히 그 케이스가 많기 때문에 놓쳐지는 경우가 많다고 합니다. 반드시 이거를 그 다음에 팔로우하는 걸 꼭 해야 된다고 합니다.
Okay. During the appointment, please remember. Bring your child with you. It's funny I said that because it happened many times that the parents showed up and said, oh, I don't have my son with me. Well, sorry, we cannot conduct any survey because your child is the one that needs to be interviewed, needs the services. Therefore, if he or she is not here, this meeting is not going to happen. So please, when you have an appointment, it's very imperative that your child goes with you. Because the appointment is for your child and not for you.
그래서 일단은 그 애플리케이션 하면 어포인먼트 약속을 잡게 되는데요. 반드시 아이가 현장에 있어야 합니다. 이 치료의 그 vocational therapy의 목적은 사실은 아이들이 무엇을 원하는지 무엇을 도와줄 수 있는지를 하는 거기 때문에 아이가 없으면 사실은 어포인먼트가 이루어지지 않습니다.
And another thing too, our services is a volunteer program. So I know that you are the legal guardian, but in legal law, if you do not have a legal guardianship and or power of attorney, you cannot force your child to come to DVR and receive services. It's not mandatory. They have a choice, especially if they're 18 and over. So you cannot force them. And when you do force your child to come to our program, you're not going to get a good outcome. You're going to have a lot of resistance, which is not good, and it's going to put a bad taste in your child's mouth that you are forcing them to do something that they don't want to do. So if you want one-on-one consultation, you don't have to necessarily apply for the program, but just to get an idea what the program is about, you can do that as well.
그 직업 재활 프로그램의 가장 중요한 거는 그 자발적인 참여이거든요. 아이의 자발적인 참여이기 때문에 그게 부모이건 혹은 그 법적인 후견인이건 간에 아이를 강제적으로 오게 할 수 없습니다. 만약 강제적으로 오게 했다고 하더라도 좋은 결과를 받을 수가 없겠죠. 아까 말씀하셨던 것처럼 카운슬러가 인디비주얼하게 아이와 주로 상담을 하기 때문에 아이가 원하는 게 없거나 하고 싶지 않거나 하게 되면 사실은 결국은 서비스를 받지 못하게 될 확률이 높습니다.
What to know about the survey interview? What is going to happen during the interview? I always use a language that is not very big vocabulary, that's very hard to understand and very confusing for the parents and for the student, because I feel that there's no need for that. Everybody's trying to get to know what the program is about. So I always use a very simple word that, oh, what's going to happen when we come? Well, it's a meet and greet. That's how I look at it. It's a meet and greet, gathering information, getting to know your child, okay? And what we do is I will just ask questions about basic information, name, address, where do you live, who do you live with, and what is your education, what are the things that you want to do after you graduate high school. That's the main focus of that meeting.
그래서 실질적으로 그 만나서 그 인터뷰하는 걸 서베이 인터뷰라고 하는데요. 그때 하는 그 질문은 아주 간단하고 아주 심플한 그 용어만 사용하게 됩니다. 어디에 살고 있는지, 누구인지, 졸업하고 나서 무엇을 하고 싶은지 이런 아주 간단한 것들을 물어보면서 진행이 되는 것입니다.
In addition to that, when you come to the meeting, we ask that you bring proof of ID. If your child doesn't have a driver's license, he or she are not ready to drive, I highly recommend that you go to the DMV and get the non-driver's license ID, because keep in mind, when your son or daughter are done with high school, they cannot go around looking for work and saying, where's your ID? Here's my high school ID. That's not valid because you're no longer a student, therefore you no longer can say that this is your ID. So it's very imperative to go to the DMV and get that non-driver's license ID, so when they do look for work, they have something to show for. And also, employers do not like or want passport. They do not acknowledge a passport. So please get that ID, and also we need social security card. For the first time meeting, we want you to bring your social security card for a lot of reasons. You're one number off, it could be someone's name. Therefore, we need to make sure that it's who you are, what you said you are, based on that information. Okay?
네. 아이디가 굉장히 중요한데요. 우리나라로 말하면 주민등록증인데 일단은 고등학교를 졸업하고 나면 스쿨 그 아이디 외에는 쓸 수가 없잖아요. 그래서 반드시 DMV를 가서 그 그러니까 non-driver license라고 합니다. 그러니까 운전하지 않는 그 아이디가 있다고 합니다. 그걸 반드시 받아야만이 받았을 때 여러 가지 어플라이를 할 수 있고, 특히 잡을 어플라이 할 때는 여권을 잘 받지 않는다고 합니다. 여권을 잘 모르기 때문에 그래서 반드시 이것을 받는 것이 미리 받아놓는 것이 중요하다고 합니다.
In addition to what are the steps, as you can see, we are going to ask for personal history, the disability history, education, employment, what are the expectations from the DVRS. And another thing too, some parents are very protective with their child, which is understandable. And most students, they don't know that they have a disability, or they don't know what they are there for at the DVRS office. And also, if you ask them, do you have a classification? They don't know. Do you have IEP? Oh yeah, I have IEP. But parents did not really explain to their child what it meant to have an IEP. So during the meeting, when I asked if you have IEP or what is your classification, I'm kind of like a little stunned and kind of feel like walking in an eggshell, because I stumbled into some parents and families that come to my office that they never mentioned anything. So for the kid to find that out for the first time is mind-boggling, and I don't want to do that. So therefore, I rephrase my wording. Like I said, how is school? What year are you in school? Are you receiving any special accommodation? So it's much milder form, but I'm not saying that we're pushing the issue under the rug, but I think it's very imperative to explain that to the child rather than the child finding out from another people that, oh, I have a disability, I have a classification, I have an IEP. So have a talk with your child or during the child study team on how to properly address discussing this very sensitive issue or topic.
대개는 그 서베이 인터뷰를 할 때 다른 거는 사실 대부분 다 알 수 있을 것 같은데 아이가 전혀 자신이 디서빌리티가 있는지를 모른다거나 혹은 어떤 클래시피케이션이 되어 있는지를 모르고 오는 경우가 있다고 합니다. 그래서 반드시 그런 경우를 방지하기 위해서 아이가 실제로 알고 있어야 할 부분이 자신이 어떤 디서빌리티가 있는지 어떤 것이 필요한지를 알게 해줘야 되고요. 아까 제가 아이덴티피케이션에서 빠뜨린 게 있는데 아까 non-driver license가 필요하고 패스포트는 가능하면 사실 받지 않기 때문에 non-driver license 필요하고 또 하나 중요한 건 SSN이 필요하다고 합니다. Social Security 넘버를 가지고 와서 아이의 이름과 반드시 exact하게 정확하게 맞는지를 체크한다고 합니다.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to eligibility. Eligibility means, are you entitled, eligible to receive our services? Not everyone that comes into our office are automatically eligible for the services. There are some steps that we need to determine if you're eligible. One of the important eligibility requirements for student is the IEP. That shows that you have a documented disability and therefore you need services from DVRS.
일단은 그 DVRS 서비스를 받을 수 있는지 여부를 보는 데 있어서 가장 중요한 건 IEP입니다. 아이가 실제적으로 피지컬하게 혹은 인지적으로 혹은 이모셔널 임페어먼트가 있는지 없는지 여부를 알 수 있는 그 다큐멘트가 반드시 필요합니다.
And like I said, the topic for today is basically focusing on student, but I'm just going to touch on other eligibility. So he or she has a social, emotional, substance abuse issue. We need to get records of that. If you have legal charges because of substance abuse, we need to get records for that. If you have any physical disability, we need proof of that. Especially if you have a physical disability that cannot be seen with the naked eyes, then we need doctor's note stating that he or she has that type of disability.
그리고 이제 autism 말고도 다른 장애가 있을 수 있잖아요. 육체적인 장애가 있다거나 혹은 약물 중독 문제가 있었을 때는 반드시 그런 레코드나 노트를 가져와야 되고요. 그건 좀 다른 식으로 정리가 되어야 할 문제라고 합니다.
Okay, so IEPE is Individualized Plan for Employment. It's a little bit confusing between IEP and IPE. Trust me, I got confused with that as well, but it's just like how the wording around. So IEP is Educational Individualized Plan when they were at school. Once they get out of school, we will have IPE. What that mean is that whatever vocational goal the counselor and the student agreed upon, this is a binding contract that this is what we're going to do.
학교 다닐 때는 IEP, 그러니까 교육적인 Individualized Education Profile이 있는 거고요. 그다음에 졸업하고 나서는 IPE, Individual Plan for Employment라는 약간 내용은 다르지만 이것은 학생과 카운슬러 간의 그 agreement입니다.
The IPE is going to be what the student and the counselor agreed upon. After high school, your son or daughter told their counselor, I want to go to school. Okay, if you want to go to school, what kind of schooling you want to go for? Is it a trade school? Is it a college, 4 years, 2 years degree? So we have to discuss that. You don't want to go to school, you want to go to work. What kind of work you want to do? You want to work in retail, customer service, you want behind the scene, like a stock clerk, warehouse, and stuff like that, then this is what we're going to do. Whatever it is that you and your counselor agreed upon, IPE is your binding agreement that you agreed to follow what you have to do in order for you to become successful individual with the DVRS office.
결국은 아이가 여러분의 자녀분들이 어떤 것을 원하는지 예를 들어서 학교에서 일하고 싶다, 학교를 가고 싶다. 그럼 어떤 학교를 갈 것인지, 뭐 커뮤니티 칼리지를 갈 것인지 아니면 다른 학교를 갈 것인지, 혹은 어떤 잡을 할 것인지, 예를 그냥 일단 그 무슨 샵에서 일을 할 것인지 아니면 다른 어떤 그 비즈니스를 할 것인지 등등을 아주 디테일하게 아이와 혹은 카운슬러가 상담을 해서 결정하는 것이고 둘이 동의하에 진행이 되는 것입니다.
If somewhere down the line, whatever you and your counselor had agreed upon, and you feel like, okay, I changed my mind, I don't want to do this anymore, it's fine. As long as you communicate with your counselor, letting your counselor know, I changed my mind, I don't think this is what I want to do now, let's reevaluate, let's step back and think of other things that I want to do. That is fine, as long as you let us know. If you decided to make changes on your own, it's considered almost a null and void. So please do not do that.
일단은 그 A를 하고 싶었는데, 예를 들어 학교를 가고 싶었는데 그게 마음이 바뀌어서 나 다른 거 하고 싶다라고 할 때는 반드시 DVRS에 알려야 합니다. 이게 그냥 알리면은 사실 모든 게 괜찮지만 알리지 않고 중단했을 때는 사실 문제가 있을 수 있다고 합니다.
Okay, everyone that comes into our office, you don't have to be with us for the rest of your lives unless you needed the services. However, there is not a limitation, but we want to see you progress. We don't want you to be in our system forever. For instance, once your child graduated from high school, he or she decided to go to work, we will provide the job coaching, and like I had mentioned earlier, if your son or daughter has a job coach at school, we will pick up where they left off and provide the same services. So once we provided job coaching, your son or daughter are successfully employed, we will monitor them for 90 days. After 90 days, we will ask how everything is going with you. Do you need further services? And your child says no. We will put you in a graduate file or rehabilitation closure.
일단은 인디비주얼 개개인의 어떤 케이스는 중간에 한 90일간은 계속적으로 팔로우업을 하고요. 90일 이후에 계속 할 것이냐, 계속 그 팔로우업을 받을 것이냐, 안 할 것이냐, 그때 결정할 수 있다고 합니다. 만약 괜찮다고 하면 그 케이스는 끝나는 것입니다.
Okay, so I just gave you guys an overview of what the services is all about, and also keep in mind that we just don't provide services for students that has IEP. We provide services for adults. If you want to ask how old, well, from high school until my oldest client is 72. So we work with them as long as they're willing, want to work, we will provide them services. Besides job coaching, counseling and guidance, vocational assistance or exploration, we also provide services for people that are deaf and hard of hearing, which is one of my specialty caseload. If you need a hearing aid, you're qualified, we'll provide that services. We also provide any assistive technology device or any prosthesis if it's indeed needed for you to become successfully employed.
그래서 나이가 드신 분 경우에도 그 메디컬 레코드가 있는 경우, 그러니까 학교 정신과 의사에서 그 전에 어떠한 디서빌리티가 있다라는 기록이 있으면 충분히 이런 그 직업 재활 프로그램의 그 혜택을 받을 수 있다고 합니다.
Okay, thank you.